touches. The senior, fifth year,
Jimmy
Huskies.
Butler's rebound to seal game 4.
You know, talk about that green dot guy. You see the green dot at the back of his helmet? That means that Ryan Walsh is communicating the defensive call.
It's a badge of honor. That means I can communicate. I'm an intelligent football player.
Unable to communicate, unable to connect with Audric Harris, youth football team. They came up here on a visit. One of the highlights of his trip was getting gassed up for the field goal attempt.
Last year, just making special teams a focus this offseason. Hires a true coordinator in Chris Petrilli. Comes over from Purdue, so just fully manned for special teams. Jordan Paupau.
Here is Chad Softy from the Husky men's soccer team.
Glute muscle contusion. That's the official
money.
And now we get Damon Williams for the first time.
I think
and
a
look
lot
at
of
that ball snap out of his hands.
There's some contact often, but I think
And
that's
the play
where the majority of the fouls are coming.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it is no mistake that the young
Post
freshman Chris
lines
Lofton
up
and
his
Mount
three-pointer.
Williams are on the same
Able to
team in
nail
this
it.
spring game right now.
So you're attacking the ball.
Yeah, starts the bowl game against
again,
Louisville.
pressure.
And in that bowl game, had 15 practices
gets
to
away from the
prepare.
pressure.
So he showcased
Jabari
some of
Smith
his
off the
ownership of
bounce.
this offense.
Pull
As
up
we
2
see a little
points.
leap
That's
there.
good.
Awesome.
And Adams knocks it back.
Plays.
He tries to throw it up. 24-second
Damon Williams played
violation.
in every game last year.
Talk
As
about a
Yogi
brick
said,
wall.
started against Oregon at the end of the year, and then played in the.
And you look at that.
Here's the
last
toughest
year
guy out there.
was
Moody
180
knocks it
pounds.
down.
He's
He's
near
not interested
200
in that stuff.
right
He just
now.
wants to
He's
play
got, look at
basketball.
that.
Well, there's basketball tough
I
guys.
mean, I know
and
you
there's
can't
real
tackle,
tough
but you
guys.
weren't
There's a
going to.
big- And very
Marcel, that was your
rarely do you
basketball
actually see
crossover
one
he just
that's
pulled out
word
too.
for word.
That ball goes sailing over the head of Adam Mohammed.
Yeah, I think
back in the
to
day,
that
they were
point, Jeff
quite
Pierce
a
is
few.
something that was first time, which is why the last 2 games of last season were so critical.
Yeah, yo, got to talk to Damon Williams Sr. for a little bit and got a little story that nobody knows.
Time, probably the greatest
Jason
decision in my life
Richardson.
besides
Baron
my wife
Davis.
and my kids. But
Steven
athletically,
Jackson,
just
we
coming here
believe.
and looks like the
Come
replay.
on.
It's open enrollment, this, that, and the other. But to make a long story short, Damon had an opportunity to go to one of the most prestige and powerful high schools as we watch Jonah Coleman do what Jonah Coleman does, which is finish runs and
How he
after being
landed.
the
That
number 8
is,
overall
that
pick,
is
and then
scary for
Damon
both
Williams
players. They are both
played in
putting
every
their
game,
body
right?
at risk,
But those
trying
last
to
2
get the
games he
job done.
started, so I'm sure there's
Thompson
some
appears
interesting
to be
conversations
okay.
between those 2 as Michael Penix
Picks up the
talking
foul.
up being young.
An offensive lineman, I'm doing what Lincoln said, which is protect that quarterback.
I've never heard that.
All right, Kai Horton back at quarterback, and he gets touched down by
5 minutes
Isaiah
gone by here in
Ward.
the second. Butler.
You know, we talk about the players
Season
that came
opening,
from
drives
Arizona
inside.
for this Ryan
would be
Walters defense.
free
How
throws
different or
over 5
similar
and
is this
6.
defense
This is who
to what
Jimmy
Steve
Butler
Belichick
is.
ran last year?
Plays
Oh,
on
I
2
think it's
feet,
different.
he's
I think it's really
With a
confused
little
the
bit of a
quarterback.
hold. That's what Dylan Brooks went and complained to the official. But Jimmy Butler is downhill. He is
And a nice job there not being
downhill at
confused,
all
right? Kai
times.
Horton is saying, all right, 5 guys are
6
down.
of 6 from the
He's
line.
in
defense than the past is they're going to be
Rockets
changing
back
it
up by
early
7.
in pre-snap. They're going to have change in looks. So the biggest
And Green can't hit the 3. Green now 1 for
That
6
is well
from the field.
defended and
Here
broken
comes
up by
Butler.
Alex McLaughlin. The transfer from
Moody
Northern
tries a 3.
Arizona, and it feels like they can't say
It's
enough.
going to go against
And
Golden
Tacario
State.
Davis
Against
and
Moody.
Ephesians Price could stand 6'4". Right, it's going to be press man. They're going to be physical. They're going to attack. You saw him there. It's a beautiful example.
So Damon Williams
all of
back
the
in.
opportunity to have the dunk of the postseason
They're trying
on
to
the
set
big
up a
fella, but
what are they trying to
you know
do?
what I
He's
was
gonna
always
throw it
taught?
back?
Yes,
3 is worth more than
Definitely
2. So you
throw
take that
They
one.
did a really nice job of Mohammed because there's a
worked out.
world
Mitchell
job
Irvin.
by that second-year running back of not making a
Extra
bad play
delight in
much
the missed
worse.
free throw.
If you're the
not
defense
only
and you
is going
Those
to
are
be
players that you
fantastic.
need for
We're
a
talking about one of the
high-level
top 3,
team.
top 4
Now, do they have
backfields
to keep
in the
things in
country
check?
because
Yes. But
no
give me
defense
one
that they
of
play
those
against is
dogs
going
on
to
my
have a
team
break.
at
They're
any
both tough.
point
They're
in
both
time.
strong.
They are
And they
so
present
important. I had
different.
Kenyon, that's why I
Is
take
big
him
number
on my
50,
team because I see that
Tarver
talent.
Willis. To me, I think he's
Gary
entrenched
Payton
himself
back to Moody.
as a starting left tackle.
Moody's
Transfer
doing an attack.
from
Both
Kansas
steps back,
State.
3-pointer.
Not a
This
tremendous
offensive
shooter.
line,
They're not going to guard him.
I'm
But
talking
you know
to a
what
ton
he's
of
found
alum
these
that are
last 2
saying
games?
this
His
offensive
drive
line
game,
may
and
be
he's
the
creating,
biggest offensive
sometimes
line
for himself,
in the past
in
10
that instance
years
for others.
for
Curry
Washington
sneaks
State.
inside,
And when you
can't
talk about
finish.
big offensive
Rebound
line, we're
Ballard.
talking about big
Sengun
Lincoln
quick.
Kennedy.
In that
Leia,
moment, you are
true
1 for
freshman out of
7.
Valley
You get an
Christian High
opportunity,
School in
you
Northern
finish that
California,
move, you go
and he's
aggressive,
making
make
a
the
little bit of
ball
They
knocked
finally,
out.
to your point, look the part,
like
but they
it's
also
gonna be
can
ball
play.
used to ball
Like they've
instead of
got,
foul
I
was
think,
called.
when you look at from the spring
And then
down to
Thompson is
camp,
first.
they'll have another 20-odd practice for the
I was
first
a
game.
young player.
This
You got to
offensive
go
line is
up.
going
You
to
got
look
to
much
bring it
different.
back.
When you
You're
talk about
avoiding
Bill,
I was just going to reference him
But
on
the
the second and
swarming
long
Houston
and coming.
Rockets,
Uyunglele
that is who they are.
transfers
Houston
in
right
from
there.
Arizona.
mentality. So you have to think that Denzel Boston's is set for a huge year.
Yeah, well, that's the expectation. And I think he's got a beautiful opportunity to meet it. A big reason why is the guys up front. And this game, this is what this team wants to do. Now, they do it a little differently. You see it from the gun, you'll see it out of the pistol, you'll see some QB runs. How about this? Extension of the play.
1 second.
Nice job.
Great screen by Pajinski. Step 3. That's automatic.
Him on and play coach. He wants to get a touchdown. You can see it in his eyes.
Yeah, what I love, this is an opportunity for him, right? You know, he's probably
up the middle. Uiagalelei collapses the pocket, and Williams gets it out to Mohammed, and he gets tackled down shy of the stick by Leroy.
Yeah, and now you're in fourth and man, right? I mean, you're going to go for it here. I think the freshman, Damon Williams, maybe he gets sacked here, or he tries to take a big play or runs with it. You got to know the situation.
There's Mohammed, and he...
Well,
this
fans,
is
it's time
close.
for tonight's dance
He ends
battle.
up a yard
Yes.
back.
Let's show
They're
off
marking
those
the ball
dance
right
moves
at the
and
like
show
here.
us your best
It
dance
tells you
moves.
how much has changed at linebacker for
Want to get a
Washington.
battle here? Come on.
Oh, DeMond's going for it.
On the play action,
That's a
Bryant
sack.
gets the
Yeah.
sack. So back-to-back big plays from Devin Bryant.
Guys, I don't know if you've noticed yet. If you look down here on this gold sideline, Taylor Mays' energy is ridiculous. He has not slowed down since the flip-off.
Taylor Mays, a guy that you played with in the NFL, a guy that Yogi recruited at USC, and still looks like he can strap him up.
Nice job there for the NFL. He goes, I'm still in high school.
Mohammed able to keep his feet enough. The initial clip there was from Bryce Butler. And then he goes down.
Did you get a text?
Shy.
If you're trying to segue into your work last night, Mike. No. Torres. He's
clips him
walking
here.
around this building with everyone applauding his work ethic.
It does more than clip him. Just
Curry hearing chance of MVP.
as Marcel said, now we're really into situational football here in the 2 minutes.
Oh, he's taking a shot.
And he overshoots and leads out of bounds.
They can beat anybody now.
Pass and coverage was
Stays on top the entire time. No chance for a play to be made down the field.
Love to see Jed on the field right at the 50-yard line, watching his young
Off coverage here at the top of the screen now.
wearing 0 in white. Williams looking the other way. And he cannot complete it inbounds. That's Marcus Harris, the freshman.
Thought about it.
Has flummoxed Houston in this last
Now
couple
it's
minutes.
Nice feet
Kai
inside.
Horton's chance to run 2 minutes.
Settles things down
And
gets
he's
an
going to
easy
take a
bucket
shot
for
to the
Rockets.
sideline. Into coverage and
That inside the
intercepted.
free throw line jumper by Şengün, that's his sweet spot.
He's got a lot of talent. You go back in the history of this program, I mean, it's been known as DBU in at least the mid-2000s. You think of Kevin King, Sidney Jones, Trent McDuffie, a couple Super Bowls for him.
Let it go.
Being a
Gate the
6 out
walk
of
on.
24.
So it's back to Devon Williams with a chance to
Almost
hustle it
lost
down
it.
the
Gets it to
field.
Thompson. Thompson with 2 on the shot clock. Jumper's good.
He might have been past the line of scrimmage, and a flag's going to
Houston
come
up by
out.
7. Final
Speaking
seconds.
of long, Butler going to have a
That
big
was
year.
close.
I think you can really have
Either
an
way, the
impressive
bucket
year. The
counts.
safeties in this defense are so critical. Nice little competition going there. Alex McLaughlin, we referenced him.
When you have
the situation before the
Meanwhile,
half.
the leading scorer.
Jed Fish might have told him, hey, this is the end
for
of
the
game
Rockets.
situation because this is it for him today.
Curry bouncing back from the subpar
With pressure at his
performance
face,
in
he's
Game
able to
5.
connect with
The game's
Austin
leading scorer with
Simmons.
16.
It's
and
back
as
to the original line of scrimmage. The
Van Vliet.
freshman tight
A
end
little
went
bit of
over.
everything.
Watch college football every weekend. How many throws a game do you ever see a quarterback just take a 3-step drop and ball is out? Like, it doesn't happen. You have to play from a muddied pocket. You have to be able to make second and third reactions. They get going here on the third down.
And again, to Yogi's point, Damon Williams will not play the second half. So Yogi, you're saying treat this like the end of the game, but he gets sacked. And a big loss there.
He's trying to maximize every opportunity to teach. And again, there aren't going to be fans here in the stadium again until they...
Oregon coming in the summer and the fall.
That's a pretty one.
It's windy here as well.
Brace the elders like myself.
There's Kai Horton under some pressure. It is a big part of the spring game. You know, Jed Fish said a spring game is when you bring back a lot of alum. So if you don't have a spring game, when are you going to get all these guys back together like this? Question, right? Is this the last spring game in the history of the sport? You know, will we have spring games next year? Here's pressure, Horton, and he puts it on the money. Raiden finds Bright, who's had a good first half. A couple of explosive plays for him. Horton.
Right, at the top again.
There he is. And a first down.
Yogi, this kid is quick. At the top of that route, he's a one-stepper right now. Eat the field.
I'll tell you what, the most impressive part about him after that play is he looked like he got a little banged up. And sometimes you see players stay down. And if you're in the 2-minute drill as a situation.
Horton with pressure, and he throws a pick. C.J. Christian, the transfer from FIU, going to speed. Coleman is able to save the touchdown. But what a big moment for the Purple.
Right now, you'll see it. I think the offense thought it was a sack, but Christian said, no, I'm going to make a play. And this is a guy who graduated from Normal Community High in 2019, tried to play college football.
Down there on the field.
2 games on the slate. It's the NBA
Rose
playoffs,
has
so we got
plenty
the top
of
5
leg,
plays
and he
coming
nails it.
at you.
Doesn't
Let's
count
get
for
to
Burrow,
number
but it
5.
counts towards Steak. I'll
Gordon.
tell you that much.
It's rice and beans.
With the
Post-game meal.
jam. Kicking the ball.
Ryan
the crowd
Walters, the new
knew that was
defensive
crazy.
coordinator here
At
in Washington.
number 2,
He's down on the
to end
field
the
with
half,
Alyssa
Malik
Charles.
Beasley fade
Yeah, Coach.
away.
Dynamic when it comes to
And
quarterback
more free
play.
throws coming up for the Rockets. They lead by
Here's Adam
5 here in the
Mohammed.
third.
Continues his play again. If you're just joining us, the teams are broken up evenly. And there is Tai Tuimoloau. Good first half.
Your Warriors
Great
playoff
acumen,
trivia.
pedigree. Jed Fish looking him under center.
Are we ready? Let's put up number
play
1.
action.
Here we go. First question up.
What's he see?
Fans,
on time.
who holds the
knocked away at the last
playoff
moment.
record
He
for the
hit
most
Chase,
points?
keeping the best players
Okay.
in the
Let's
state.
just do this
here
for
in the
giggles,
state.
huh? Since
It's
you're
been
on a
such
roll.
a big
Who
focus
has
for
the
them.
Warriors franchise record for the most
Riley was hit as
three-pointers
he let it go, and it's a pick
made in a
six
single
for
playoff
Rylan
game?
Dillard
Timmy
Allen.
Hardaway, Draymond Green,
The
Steph
true
Curry, or
freshman.
Mr. Klay
Turning
Thompson.
turnovers to points. That is how
Klay
you steal
Thompson,
possessions
captain
and
play
win as a young
edition.
guy.
My
Just
guy,
like Jed
look at
Fish
that.
comes to you and
You
said,
get an
I want
autographed
you to
basketball,
celebrate.
too. Let's
Well,
go.
I'll tell you what, you got his big
Congratulations.
assist to number 92, Bryce Butler. He gets his hands on Byerly. And they got a little bit of a
Jonah
kicker
Coleman.
change.
So Jonah Coleman has come out for the point after.
NBA playoffs
we
presented
say
by
no.
Google here in San Francisco. First round presented by ESPN Bet Sportsbook. 5-point lead. And Doris, the assist of the game brought to you by State Farm. It's Van
The
Vliet.
man can do everything.
Hits another three for Steph Curry. His fifth for the game.
He's gonna
And
throw
it's a
on the
2-point
move.
game.
Oh, we got another turnover.
That is ridiculous.
Ball is out.
Thompson goes
Ryan
inside.
Walters
To throw the rock. And
Just
remember, they're
don't
not
leave
playing
step.
with their top
That's
two
the
corners.
defense. Don't
Keeney
Barry
McMillan
Pachinski
at quarterback
blocked by
now.
Green.
First time that we've seen him. Another
Flex
catch
it out
with
of
Drayton
bounds.
Vines right.
11 on the shot clock.
Junior year, he was player of the year in Hawaii. Absolutely balled out.
Allowed you to stay on the
40
floor. He's got
touchdowns.
4 rebounds, 3
Injured his
assists.
senior year, so good to see him back here playing some real ball.
Najamski.
First carry for Jordan Washington today.
Back and hits the
4-3-8,
three-pointer.
40.
Checked his feet, and Jabari
4-3-8.
Smith knocks it down.
Guy out here doing his
Right
homework.
back up
You
to
heard him.
7 as Thompson
Let me go
deflects
tell
it out.
John Ross at 4-2-1.
He's having
I wanted
fun
no
out there.
part of John Ross going on
Cuts to
around the
floor.
spring game. We have fun up here in the press box, but these are so important. These are important reps, and we got
Adams sets the screen. He's one of the
It's
best
Decker
at that as well.
DeGraff, the sophomore, who couldn't catch it off the back shoulder.
Base catch
That's
by
it.
5.
Ryan Walters calling and orchestrating this defense. I've been impressed.
McMillan on the run. And, boy, he tried to fit it in to Vines Bright. We heard he's got a big arm here at the University of Washington.
He's 6
Well,
of
we got a
12.
third down now for McMillan. Going to Vines Bright. Who's having a day? Did he get in? Yes.
This was an
Touchdown
effective strategy.
for the freshman.
There was a game earlier
Ray
in this
Vines
series where they
Bright.
hacked him.
we talked
They
about
had to
young
pull him,
receivers.
and the Warriors immediately
Right, as a true freshman, it's just a simple fade ball. 1, 2, 3 ball out. Firm with an arc. It's high and away from the DB.
But the Warriors were basically saying,
Give it to
Has to put it up.
Kobe.
Kobe
was the rule.
Do we see enough evidence there?
Continues to have
We
a
didn't
strong
get
Not
third
going to send
quarter.
it
10
out back.
points
We already have the
of his
game.
22.
He wanted to be a better pass catcher coming back for this
And
last
that's his
year.
free
A lot of
throw
Husky fans
percentage
didn't know if he
regular
would,
season.
but I'm sure they're glad that he is
He's
back.
been through worse. I think he's got 15 brothers.
You know, they
and
want to
sisters.
be so dynamic.
Your offense, and that's something I used to
Jabari
pride
Smith,
myself
another
into,
corner three.
being unguardable.
Oh, go.
That Swiss Army knife is what
The
they
ball
call it.
tipped right
And
at
Jonah,
Najamski.
Jonah Coleman is coming into that same scenario. He is a fantastic football player.
You can
Byerly
just feel
connects
how
with
He
Here's
is.
the problem
Those
for the
teeth look
Rockets.
nice.
And it's cost him this series. They're 16 for 23 free throws.
Byerly
Some that Steven
trying to
Adams
get out of
get.
the backfield, and instead
But
he
young
goes down and
teams,
is
all these
sacked
free throws
by
matter.
Deshaun Lynch. Third down and 17 here for Byerly. And pressure again, and this time he gets it out to Austin Simmons. His second catch that he stood up by Leroy Bryant, who then gets some help from.
I say we, you're right. It's a spring game, so no matter what happens today, Huskies are winning.
That's Chris Peterson's UC Davis Aggies.
Right hand.
Yeah, right?
That's right. He was looking at it
Washington
afterwards.
State.
Curry has the ball.
And Coleman, they got this new defensive coordinator and Ryan Walters.
I mean,
they're going to have to make
his
sure that they're
ability to
locked
keep
in
you off
early on,
balance,
because they'll be
just
playing
the
against teams
slightest
that are
upfake,
capable
he
of moving
walks
the rock.
right into
You're right,
him,
Yogi. A ton
and then
of
the
optimism
ridiculous
and
use
a
of the left hand.
competitive schedule.
Honorary head
Checked
coach.
behind his bench. They said no, he found him.
This is Beck
yes,
Walker,
you did.
the walk-on running back. Gets that out near midfield, and it should be the end of this third quarter.
Warriors 12 of 30.
Mentors in his community have just grown in so many powerful ways.
Isaiah Ward
Coming off the edge.
Warriors.
But you're just talking a little bit more about Jed's full melding of all those elements is what this program is and where Jed Fish is in his career. He's himself. He's not trying to be any of those guys, but he's taken the pieces and molded them into his own coaching philosophy. Saw it in Arizona, and I think
just bringing anyone. If you bring that, look at that Rolodex and count off all those guys who have been here involved in this program and talking to these players and hearing those voices and getting those examples. There are championships amongst
our true starting quarterback and Jonah Coleman, an elite back, a much improved offensive line, a tight end group that can play, a potential top receiver in the Big Ten in Denzel Boston, get some transfers and young players that can help out. And that's where I
of the day is
We
coming
talked
at
about
quarterback.
the intensity.
He
Golden
transferred from
State
Northern
not coming out with the
Colorado,
right
and he throws
intensity.
it complete to Austin Simmons.
Jalen Green trying to find his way, getting the easy bucket.
So
Warriors
you
got some
played
work
in
to do.
offense with
like DeMond Williams. He wants to throw the football. He just has the ability to run and run against anyone. So he's not going to just try and pass the line of scrimmage. He's going to keep his eyes down the field, and he's going to get the ball out. So as a receiver, young quarterback to
Put
go
him up, let's
crazy.
go. Let's go, Doug
Hagedorf's
Nation.
having some fun here, getting an
Put him up,
opportunity.
put him up, hands up.
And he can't connect on that throw.
Come on.
And you talk about the pro influence, and we showed it earlier, the graphic on some of the
full-time staffers in the recruiting and personnel
Here,
department.
let's go.
How about that?
Jace Burton. Hands up, Dub Nation.
Jace Burton,
Let's do
the
it.
son
Come on.
of a Husky
Get loud,
DB,
get loud.
Nigel Burton.
Here we go.
Midfield.
Nigel Burton.
Oh, we got
Boy,
a few
Malloy,
more
Law
right here.
Dog, you
gotta
are
get out
naming
of the
DB.
net.
You
Dub
alums out
Nation,
here,
fourth
Yogi.
quarter time.
Hagedorf
We need all that energy.
able to hold
Everybody, here we go,
on.
here we go,
Was
here we
Chris
go.
Lawson. This is a guy we mentioned earlier.
The chain, and to your point, Guy, he can be the guy, the young freshman in Lawson.
Hagedorf taking a shot, and that is broken up by Ramon Adams. Great coverage on.
Forward to watching that, and Anthony Ward. We've seen him a little
6
bit
to shoot now
as
for
well,
Golden
make
State.
a few plays for this
And
linebacker
Jalen
group.
Green does a
But they
great
have to be
job
productive,
defensively.
and you
Does
got to
a
be able
great
to run
job
sideline to
not
sideline.
fouling,
There it is, getting a little.
Your fan base,
Foul
they got to
is
get
going
to
to
know
go
each
against
other.
Steph Curry.
This is one of those cities where you should really
Score on
embrace it,
Curry.
because once they do embrace it, this
Saying he
fan
pushed the
base,
defender.
this city is going to continue to
Potemkin got
embrace them
knocked
back and feed in and
He's
dark.
hooking us.
That's one of the big
Curry,
takeaways
a
I think I have for
three-pointer.
ourselves this game is these young playmakers.
Rebound Şengün. He's got 11
Yeah,
of
Yogi, I'm
those
with
as
you
well.
on that. These young playmakers
If
can
you are
be
the Houston
huge,
Rockets,
have
if you're
huge
a Houston
productivity.
Rockets,
Football rated Vines Bright, 6
pronounced.
receptions, 89 yards, and a touchdown
Free
today,
throws
and
critical
24
right
rush
now.
yards. He's showing that he
Golden
can do it
State.
all.
Yeah, add
18
one
of
more.
60.
Yeah, there you
Butler.
go. I'll tell you what I really like about this.
9 of 10.
is
Only
that
Butler and Curry.
He said, Marcel, use your speed to get up to the route.
only
The game
anxiety
slows
here
down
in
when you
this
start to
building,
see the
Butler misses a
laces
free
and the
throw.
point of the ball. You see the stitches on the wall.
5-point
That's
game.
when the game
Still
slows
8
down.
and a half
It was my
remaining.
spring game here.
They're
I think it was
going excited, a little
2006,
disappointed.
where I started to see the laces.
Millen,
Doing good
first
job
two
on the
seasons just
Rockets.
became
They
a top
clean
10
up the
draft
glass.
pick.
They not
Brandon
only have
Vines Bright
size,
again
but
down
they've
the
got
sideline. He might have
athleticism.
another one.
And when they get out in that transition, what I like about that is Podziemski is a charge guy. Podziemski is a charge guy.
Really
Basket.
strong.
At 25
35
points,
yard
5 steals
play.
in game 5. How about the? He's got
Whoa,
14
kind of a
points.
dime.
Goes and taken out of his hands by Butler, and a jump ball
To the
Thompson and
corner,
Butler hanging
and
on.
it is broken up.
They're eventually going to have to
It
release it
was
so they can throw the ball.
Audric Harris fighting.
two-step.
Finishing touches on a post-game feast.
That's a young athlete, though.
He is a freak
And the
athlete.
quarterback,
Turning into
McMillan,
quite the special
is stopped
player in
shy
just
of
his
the goal
second year.
line by Alex McLaughlin.
Şengün against Draymond Green. Back to
Get another one.
Şengün. Back to Van Vliet. Puts up a three. It's good.
McMillan.
Fred Van Vliet knocks it down.
Looking for
Largest
Vine
lead
Bright.
of the game. And the Warriors call timeout.
McLaughlin.
Van Vliet's not hot. He's scalding right now.
Oh, no.
This was all
told you,
over the
Jordan
place.
Washington
Offensive rebound, steals, throw ahead.
That's nice job there reading the eyes of Portland.
Here we go. Here
For
we
the
go.
purple, they need to move
Come
quickly.
on, get ready.
Fire Oh, he drops it. Pick. No, unable to hold on.
All right,
Was
let's see who
Adams,
else
who's
we
been
got in the
all
audience
around the
tonight.
ball.
Spring football in the month of April, early May.
This is your 2
I
seconds
feel
of
Jet Fish
fame.
will do something like this.
He'll figure something out.
Yeah, he will.
I'll tell you what, if this is the last
Get
one,
ready.
I'm happy I spent it
Who
with
else
you
we
two.
have?
Oh, man. Corner. Walking away from this game, fellas. Pretty impressive.
To your point, Yogi, that back end
Hey,
also
I see
staying
you.
on top and eliminating big plays. Although we got a touchdown in the red zone.
Here we go,
Coverage,
here we
the only one we've seen
Come on, D.
tonight.
I see you.
You see the communication of the DB saying, who had who? It doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
Marcus Harris says, I got 6.
Here we go, here we go. We're live.
Marcus Harris ran a great
And hey, I'm going to meet you. I'm going to match you.
nature of him.
Three-star recruit out of Southern California committed to. That's Isaiah
100%.
Ward.
Again, you look
That's
at
Isaiah Ward
Memphis when
trying
they
to match
lost in
Jonah
those
Coleman.
years.
Grim.
Repossession.
Salmon.
When you get to the 10 to 12,
But they all
it's
got
just
better.
the
And I think that's the
gap
point.
is
You know,
so
Jed
much
Fish said,
bigger,
hey,
and I
can
don't
we
think
grow?
people
They
understand
did
the weight
that.
difference.
Listen with the head coach, Jed Fish.
All right.